The mist came in the dead of December, creeping over towns like a patient predator. It rolled in slow, curling through city streets and farmland alike, clinging to windows and swallowing entire neighborhoods. At first, people thought it was just an unseasonably thick fog, the kind that made car headlights useless and turned every breath into a puff of mystery. But then it didn't leave. Days turned into weeks. The mist clung to the ground, dense and unyielding. Planes were grounded, roads became perilous, and the world felt muffled, as if a great cotton hand had pressed itself over the earth's mouth. It wasn't just the stillness that got under people's skin. It was the way the mist seemed to breathe. On calm nights, when the world should have been silent, you could swear you heard it shifting, whispering. Not words exactly, more like the suggestion of something alive. Conspiracy theories spread faster than the mist itself. Some said it was a government experiment gone wrong, a climate manipulation weapon testing the limits of control. Others claimed it was extraterrestrial, a soft invasion by a race too cautious to reveal themselves yet. The fringes of the internet buzzed with talk of chemtrails and secret bunkers, of shadow organizations and coded messages in the static of abandoned radio stations. But those were just stories people told themselves to make sense of the senseless. The truth was harder to pin down. Then the disappearances started. It began in small towns where the mist was thickest, where the sun hadn't touched the earth in days. First, a farmer stepping out to check his cattle didn't come back. Then, a night shift nurse vanished on her way to the hospital parking lot. People whispered about it, but no one wanted to say what they were really thinking, that the mist was taking them. Some tried to test it. Kids, with more bravado than sense, tied themselves to trees with long ropes, wandering just far enough into the white veil to say they'd done it. They came back pale and shaken, mumbling about shadows that weren't theirs and the feeling of being watched. A few didn't come back at all. That's when the windows started fogging from the inside. People boarded up their homes trying to keep the mist out, but it found its way in. It seeped through cracks, curling under doors and around window frames. It slid into basements and settled into attics. It didn't matter how tightly you sealed yourself in. The mist was patient. It wanted you to know it was there, waiting. The news stations kept broadcasting for as long as they could. A grim-faced anchor in New York described the eerie silence of the city, the empty streets, the way entire blocks seemed to vanish into the mist. Her voice cracked when she reported on Central Park. Not a single jogger, dog walker, or stroller, just mist. Then the broadcast stopped. By January, the mist covered the globe. People began hearing things in it. Voices they recognized, dead relatives, old lovers, even themselves calling out in soft, desperate tones. Stay inside, the survivors said, but they didn't need to. No one who went out came back, and those who stayed inside weren't much better off. The mist found ways to turn the mind against itself. People whispered that it knew you, that it could sift through your memories like an old photo album, and pick the one thing that would make you open the door. A man named Carl, holed up in a cabin deep in the Rockies, kept a journal. He wrote that the mist didn't want the world, it wanted the people. It wasn't an accident, wasn't some natural phenomenon. The mist was alive, ancient, and it fed on fear. It was hungry, and humanity had called to it like a dinner bell. Carl's last entry was scrawled in shaky handwriting, just one line. It knows my name. In the end, there wasn't a moment of reckoning. No great battle or last-ditch survival plan. There was just silence. Town by town, house by house, room by room. The world disappeared, swallowed whole by the mist. The last ones left swore they saw shapes moving in the white, tall and impossibly thin, with eyes like burning coals. And then there was no one left to swear anything. The earth lay quiet, the mist shrouding it like a grave. Somewhere deep in the endless white, a child's laugh echoed, soft and sweet. It wasn't a sound of joy. It was the sound of something learning how to mimic us. But humans always prove to be resilient.